Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Warship Wednesday with me, Commander Wolfman. So, last episode we were near the end, or should I say we are practically near the end of USS Boston and USS Currychuck. Well guys, today I've actually got an update for you on USS Chicago, which was the model kit we unboxed just over two-ish weeks ago. Well, as you guys can quite clearly tell, I've already made progress on her. Jeez. I wasn't joking when I said to you guys that this model would probably fall together very, very easily. And she definitely is proven to be one of those models that falls together very, very easily. I mean, the stages that I've already done, it's just crazy. I have to admit, for one of the oldest kits I've actually built in a while, she's definitely been one of the most fun kits to build in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, relatively easy build. So far anyway, I must say it's just brilliantly come out as decent as I can go. So I'm going to be going back and forth with this particular episode, guys, because I want to show you some of the bits which I'm going to be doing and some of the bits which I'm not going to be doing with this model kit. So, first and foremost, obviously as you guys can see, the main part of the superstructure is all built up and primed, and so is the main deck. So my next objective there is to get the deck painted up in a... Well, I'm going to look at USS Chicago and try and see if I can find some colour images of her, which I'm pretty sure there are a few of them out there. I mean, she was around prior to my time when I was born, so generally there should be some colour images out there of her. I wouldn't put it past the US Navy. There's a dark sea grey that's implemented there somewhere, and obviously I'm pretty sure there's a light grey of some sort I can use. Might use a similar light grey to what I used on the Boston for the main colour, so we'll probably see how that goes from there. So I've got the main deck painted, got the propeller shafts and the rudder put into place. A bit rough around the edges obviously, but it's an older kit, guys, so I'm not expecting anything fancy going on here. I'm happy with the detail. I mean, it's nice to have a kit that's actually got propellers. I mean, no offence of course to Boston or the Currychuck, but it's nice to have a fully completed ship that actually has got all its components to it. But I digress, guys. It's not all the kits I build are not bad. I enjoy them to a certain extent. Obviously, you guys will know if I hate the model kit in particular. But Chicago here is proving to be a lot of fun. Anyway, got bits of superstructure all put together. So I've got this is the secondary radar mast, I do believe. So that's all nice and put together and cleaned up, ready for painting. Bits of superstructure like the bits on the back here. This is where some of the guided missile range, the bits and pieces that help the missiles detect. Again, my forte is into guns, not into the missiles that much, guys. Probably brings me on the subject, Wolf, why don't you build these in the first place? Because I like them, I'm fascinated by them. But the point being, this is where some of the tech goes that launches missiles. Then obviously we've got the iconic bridge and superstructure of the Albany class, and Chicago in this case, as you guys can see. A very tall superstructure, isn't it? I'm not sure why the US Navy decided to build such a tall superstructure. I mean, I would have been happy with what they already had with the Bostons and what they already... I mean, the Bostons and what the... goodness me, and what the Baltimores already had. Just improved the superstructure is what I can say. In this one's case, though, it's very unique in style. Very nice in detail as well. As you guys can clearly see, I've also got it cleaned up and ready to go. I haven't done too much cleaning because there is some lovely detail on this, despite my camera not being able to pick it up too well. So yeah, I'm very happy with how that's all come out there. Two solid bits of plastic, very easy build. As you can see, our little tiny missile launchers. They're all built up and ready for painting. Looking very deadly. We've got a small missile launcher here, which I've got built up, ready for cleaning and then painting. So yeah, we'll get that all nice and clean and tidied up later on down the line. And then we're still not done with the superstructure parts, obviously. Got the bit here that goes in the back of the stern, just for another two range finding equipment. So I've all got that nice and cleaned up and ready for painting as well. And then obviously the most important part of this project, most important part to the class themselves, is the detection and radar and systems and all that comes with the model kit. Now, before you guys ask, Wolf, you're missing one, aren't you? No, actually, it turns out that the fourth one is a spare, I do believe. But if not, I'm a little worried because I have not got the fourth part. You see, these bits do come in two pieces. You've got the first part on the stand there, as you can see. Sorry, guys. And then obviously there's a second part that attaches on the opposite side. And unfortunately, I'm not sure what's happened, but I've only got 3 out of 4. So that's a little concerning, because when I opened the box, I'm pretty sure I had all 4 components. And then one suddenly just disappeared out of the blue. That's not all I've done with the Albany though, absolutely not. As you guys can see, Chicago, sorry. As you guys can see, I've also got the lifeboat stations ready to go, so that's all ready to be nice and painted. I've got more radar equipment all built up ready for painting, so they're all nice and clean and ready to go. And then I've also got, so I've got basically all the sprues broken down to various bits and pieces, because obviously there are some bits I'm going to attach later on after the painting has been done on certain parts. So bits of superstructure, like you can see there, I'm going to be painting first before I attach them. And obviously the other lifeboat station here as well. What else have I got to show off? Oh yes, the little helicopter, of course. So I'm not sure if I'm going to add this little guy or not to the model kit, guys. It's not very cleverly detailed. It's not bad. Obviously, I've seen worse ones than this, but we'll see if I'll add it to the ship. Officially, this does sit on the back of the actual ship itself. That's obviously a helicopter landing spot there for them. So may or may not add that. And then as for the propellers themselves, they're still on their sprue. I'm going to try and cut the sprues down just a bit so I can prime them and paint them, and then hopefully they'll look spick and span once the build is fully done. Which brings me on to the subject of what I'm going to be doing next, really. So obviously I'm working on the superstructure of the Chicago first. Once I've got this all painted up and done, then I'll probably work on the hull. Hull's going to be easy, because I've just got to do is prime that up and then put the red on, and then put the grey in question onto the hull, and then obviously do the black water line. And once that's done, I can apply both bits together, and then we're pretty much underway for the Chicago's build. I guess once I've got to that stage, I can start applying some of the decals. So those black squares all together there are for the bridge and for other bits of superstructure to do windows, so that's quite a nice touch, which means I haven't got to worry about painting them in. The flag obviously is for the flag post. The 11 indicates for Chicago being the 11th guided missile cruiser for the US Navy, and then obviously Chicago itself goes on the back, on the stern there. And then the Chicago in USS Chicago there, the big one, that is for the actual stand itself. So obviously being in black, I'm going to have to paint the stand up. As you guys can see, I've cleaned the stand up so it's all nice and tidy. I'm going to have to paint the stand up in a colour where it will stand out the most. I'm kind of thinking maybe a brass or a woodish colour maybe. Might do a US grey. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But it's going to have to be something that will make the decal stand out, because that way people can see that this ship is the USS Chicago in her prime. As it stands with the history side of things with Chicago, I do know this. There has been a couple of small misindications for the Chicago. You see, some people reckon that this is the Chicago that was that fought in World War II and that survived World War II. No, that was a different Chicago. I believe the Chicago that people were talking about there is the Northampton class. No, I think Northampton. I'm going to get my research right, and I'll come back to you. Okay, unless you guys, of course, you guys know a bit more than me. But the thing is, the one that we've got here, this Chicago, this is the one that was an actual Baltimore class, but then she got converted later on into a guided missile cruiser. But we'll talk a bit more about this one later on in that regards. And obviously I'll have a bit more facts for you guys as we go with this. Anyway guys, that's it for this update. thank you all for watching. Next video is probably going to be USS Curry Truck's model review, and then after that maybe the Bostons, because they're pretty much done now really, I think. I guess another slight small update for all of you, because in case you guys are wondering, Wolf, are you going to start working on World War One stuff again? Yes, definitely. And spoiler alert, the next ship in question begins with a D, and she was the first of her type. So that's the I guess that's the puzzle for you. Her first letter of her name begins with D, and she was the first of her type. Anyway, more on that later, guys. Thank you all for watching. Have a nice week and have a nice weekend. Look after yourselves and take care. Ta-ta for now.